Guys, we are here with Eddie this afternoon. We're over at Pet Supplies Plus right now. So we are walking around the parking lot like I always do before I go into any store. Like I always remind everybody, you want to make sure that you get your dog focused and calm in the parking lot before you go ahead and bring them into an even more distracting and stressful situation. So what I like to do is, start moving around a little bit, and we want to make sure that you do a lot of turns. Don't focus on going in a straight line right now. You really want to make sure you're doing this. Good boy, yeah. To get him to slow down and focus on you. So I've already been doing this a few minutes, and he's already slowing down. But the first few minutes when you first get somewhere, he's going to want to just like go right to the door. So even with his takeoffs, right? So let's go ahead and adjust. Also going to talk about the itching. So as you can see, I don't have his e-collar on him. We'll talk more about that later. Yeah. So right there, as soon as we go off, he goes ahead of me, right? Eddie, huh? The whole thing with the scratching is I am not going to, I don't allow that behavior only because it's just, it's a tick. It's him thinking that itching will turn the pressure off. If you allow that to happen, he's going to continue to keep doing that. So what I do, good boy, Eddie. If he ever, while you're walking, tries to start scratching at it randomly, give him a pop and keep walking. Basically to say, just pay attention. Just like I would right there, I would just pop and move. Right now, it's really important to learn your pops are very gentle when it comes to him. But if you get him moving with you, those first few steps, see right there, as soon as he gets ahead of me, is when I turn my direction and get him going with me again. I never let him take the lead. Like right there. Now he's behind me. So right there I popped because he sat down to go itch at it. Right now he's taking the lead. I'm going to take it back. He got a pop and a move. So right there, he's not following my lead, right? Change directions again, and look, he wasn't watching at all. Come on, buddy. Now you don't want to pull him. It's especially harder when you have a little dog to learn super duper light pressure and using yourself more than your leash. So right there, if I can't make a clean left turn, then he's too far ahead of me. He's got to learn that he's a little guy and he's going to get stepped on. So, what I like to do for him is almost give him these little pops as I'm turning, just kind of like as a heads up. Now, if it were Bo or any of my other, bigger size dogs, then I'm all for use your knee and bump into them. But with Eddie, we'll just step on his teeny tiny toes and he'll just yelp, and that's not the point of it. So doing all these left circles right now, it's hard to tell, I know, in the video. But turning left, and I'm just making a big left circle. Okay, I'm just going around in a circle. Now I'm going to change it up and go this way. So clearly he was going my pace, but he wasn't focusing that well on me. So if we make him do a lot of things, if we make him do a lot of things where we're forcing him to pay attention, he's going to heel with you a lot smoother because he doesn't have time to look at the leaf and think about scratching that and, oh, who's over there, and, ooh, what's that dog doing? Oh, there's a car, right? Come on, Eddie. Come on, good boy. Right? So clearly focusing on a lot of other things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit. Eddie, sit. Get myself all situated. There's a car behind us. Okay. All right, so I also, anytime I go out into public, I always bring a high-value treat with me. For Eddie, we use green beans because we want to make sure we manage his weight. See how well he's doing with not jumping when he tries to take treats now. He's starting to learn with me. When I first get a treat, he's usually really excited and he tries to go right back to that. But if you remember that last video, not the last one, but the video that I showed you, how to get him to not do that, you can tell with him now. now that he's starting to respect that that's how I give treats. And it's starting to become a learned behavior with him that I don't jump up to get the treat. I just have to sit here nice and I still get it. Good boy. Good boy. Here. Okay, so we're going to do some Eddie sit. A little bit of spatial pressure, a little bit of leash pressure. Eddie. Okay. Good boy. Good job. Eddie, come. Sit. Eddie. Right, so I didn't say sit twice, right? I said Eddie again. I got his attention. I already told him sit. He was just really excited. I just needed him to focus. Okay. And if he gets really excited, you have to remember, if we want him to be calm, we have to be calm. So if he's getting like super rowdy, then we need to like literally slow down a little bit, calm our voice down, right? Get him into a calmer state of sit. Off. Right, so a little teeny pop there and just set off. Heel. Good boy. Right, so a little far ahead of me. Gonna turn left. Good boy. And see now how he's checking in with me? Come on. Good. So right there when he stopped to itch at it, that's when I give a little pop and I keep moving. Don't cater to that. Don't stop and let him itch. It's not itchy. It's just a slip lead. It's not itchy. He doesn't even have the e-collar on. So he did have it on and I took it off when I got here because e-collar is for off-leash reliability. And to be completely honest, it's not a tool that you guys are going to need to use on a daily basis with Eddie. If you're out in public, you're going to need a leash on him regardless. So your leash is great for him. I mean, he needs such minimal force that in e-collar, you're going to use it really for only when he's off leash, but we'll go into a little bit more detail, of course, when he comes home. But what I want you guys to do is to continue practicing with him, making sure that he still wears it so that he gets used to the weight, and maybe like once or twice a day, just do a couple of repetitions of using his name to get his attention paired with the e-collar. That's really the only thing that we're going to need to use it for with him. So that's what we're going to do with that. But he's more concerned about like, oh, the weight's on me. And he kind of like I said before, he almost turns into like a shell of a dog. He'll, come on, buddy, good boy. We still want him to be like, happy little puppy. And I'll be honest, I mean, he'll walk great. If you even just put the collar on him and you just walk without a leash with him up and down my road, he will stay in a perfect heel off leash with me with the e-collar on. So, I mean, he is definitely getting used to it. You have to use it at really low levels. But he still has moments where he throws temper tantrums. Last night alone, he threw a big old tantrum and, was rolling around. Nobody was even touching him and he was just freaking himself out. Didn't even use the collar. It was just on. And I gave him a pop on the leash. And he started bugging out about the leash, so we had to go into a hole. I took him outside, kept the e-collar on. I didn't give in to that, but I kept the collar on. I took him outside. Wait for that to pass. I kept the e-collar on. I took him outside. We went for a little walk. He did really well. I calmed him down. I came back inside. We did a few more repetitions of place, wearing the collar, but just using the slip lead, and he really didn't even need much of that. To get him to place. And then, I kept it on until we went to bed, and I put it back on first thing this morning. I just took it off right now because I didn't want him to, the strap is too big for him because I'm still waiting his gets here today. So I'm using somebody else's right now for him, so the strap looks way too big on him. I didn't want, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so you can see he's doing a really good job. Let's see. Okay, we'll just keep recording and I'll show you guys. We're going to head inside now, so I'll show you exactly how I go about doing that. So he's going to start to get really excited right about here because this is about as far as we've gone now to the road. on his leash, crossing the road. This is great. He is a cutie, isn't he? He's talking about his prance. I love his little happy prance. It's just the cutest. Okay, so we'll get him a little calmer here. So we'll go in. Oh yeah. Okay, big scary car. Spook him a little. So yeah, we're gonna make sure that he's relaxed before we start heading in. Off. See how much nicer that is now? He's doing so good. And that's just all, like I said, because he respects the fact that that's how I always do it now. The first few times, he might not do that. And you might be like, how come he doesn't do it for me? Because he thinks he can get away with it with you. And you have to be consistent with him as a handler and show him this is what I want every single time. So it doesn't matter what you're talking about. If you're talking about jumping with treats, letting him get slightly ahead of you when you're heeling, barking at specific things, not going on place, letting him break, letting him jump. All of those things boil down to, do I allow him to get away with this ever? Because if you do, then you're teaching him something right there, that sometimes you can do it and sometimes I don't like it. But that's hard for him to know. He can't read your mind about which times is sometimes, right? He doesn't know if this is one of the times he's going to be allowed to jump and get a treat, or if it's one of the times he has to sit to get a treat. So if you're really consistent about showing him, I only allow you to do it when you're sitting, you're going to see a lot bigger, you're going to see a lot, more change in him. Okay. Yeah. Eddie. Alright, so we're going to head on in. So we got some sliding doors here. These are probably spooking us up. Pretty good. Good job, Eddie. So that was perfect. That was a really great entrance. He's doing really good. He's a lot more confident when we go places now. He's getting a little bigger, so he's starting to have a little more confidence in him, which is great. That's a fantastic thing. It's just a little far ahead, little teeny pops. See how teeny my pops are? I mean, I have it just wrapped around my finger, but I literally just use one finger. Right, and then if one or two doesn't work, I'm going to change my direction. Come on, Eddie. And use myself. See the clicks of my tongue and saying his name? That's the key to getting him to heel. Because watch, I can do Eddie. Eddie. Good boy. Eddie. Yes, good boy. Come on. Ready? So it's not the leash. Eddie, sit. Eddie. Right? So it's not the leash. I dropped the leash completely. It's that he's respecting me. He knows that he knows name recognition, that when I'm calling him, and it's turn and look, and if I'm consistent and do repetitions, that's your obedient dog. Okay, good boy. All right, so there you have it. We're going to walk around a little. Let's see if we can find a bed real quick, and we'll show you placing. There's the beds. Ready? Eddie. Place. Eddie. Eddie. Okay, so if it's a new object that he's never been on, right? This is something that can be kind of spooky for a dog. This is how you're always going to go about showing them how to go onto a new place object. Okay, so I'm going to use my tree, and I'm going to draw him on. Yes. I don't say the word place at first. I just draw him on with the tree. Okay. And then release him. Okay, now that he knows it's not going to explode or whatever.
Hi, puppy. How are y'all doing?
Good, how you doing?
Doing all right? Is there anything I can help with?
I think we're all set, thank you. Eddie. Place. Okay, so this time I'm going to say place and still draw him on. Yes, good boy. So the tag spooked him a little. Ready? Place. Ready? Place. Yes, good boy. Stay. Okay. So right there I released him because he started scratching. So I wanted him to change his thought process right there. And I wanted him to know that, like, he doesn't have to, he's getting stuck in this thought of, oh, the leash is on and he's scratching, it needs to go away, right? We don't, change his thought process. So I released him. I said, okay, and give him something else to think about. Eddie, come. Good boy. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Okay. This little girl wants to say hi to him. You want to say hi to him? He's real friendly. His name's Eddie. He's real friendly. He's just a puppy.
Sweet.
Yeah, he likes kids.
That's the best kind.
Have a good one. Good boy, Eddie. That's great. You want him to socialize. You want him to meet people. You want him, you don't want him to be scared of anybody. Oh, he's fantastic. I'm really proud of him. He's doing a really great job. Yeah, remember, he's just still a baby. So, he'll continue to get better and better as he grows up. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, hope everyone has a great weekend. Have a good one.